What is up, guys? And I am here to teach you how to PvP in Minecraft. So guys, I just wanted to tell you, those of you who are already experts at Minecraft, already understand the basics of basically the sword, the bow, and the fishing rod, and are already decent at them, I recommend you go ahead and skip to 21 minutes, 15 seconds, and that will share some basic tips and tricks that are basically going to adjust your settings slightly. That will improve your PvP. So if you already understand the basics, go ahead and skip to 21:15. So, when you boot up your Minecraft, you are going to see this screen pop up, and it's going to come up with your 463 MS or whatever you get. Now when you come to here, most likely if you have downloaded the game recently, you're going to see this will say 1.10, like this. You would say, let me show you. Down here it will say this. Okay. Now, I have Optifine installed, so that's gonna have all that there. But your version will most likely say 1.10.2. Now, I want to say right now, 1.10 is a horrible update for PvP, and most large servers are still allowing 1.8 PvP. So, if your favorite server still operates on 1.8 PvP, I recommend you go down to 1.8.9 and then select the save profile, then launch the game. Okay guys, right off the bat, I want to tell you right now, you need Kohi to be able to do this. This is pretty much one of the, it's the best 1v1 server pretty much in existence ever since Badlion and Kohi merged up. So, the server IP for Kohi is kohi.us. That's literally it. I'd recommend titling it Kohi, so it's K-O-H-Y, so you know what it is, or you could title it 1v1s. And then the server address is KOHY.US. That's it. I clicked cancel, you'll want to click done. But anyway, when you go into the Kohi server, it'll log in and you'll immediately see all this. You'll have a clock in your hand. You'll want to right click on the clock, then mouse over and left click on the water bucket. And that is literally it. Now I must warn you guys, up here it says you only get unranked 20 and ranked 10. That means that you get 20 unranked matches and 10 ranked matches. I don't recommend playing ranked yet for you guys. But unranked matches, those are perfect for beginners. Now when you right click on the sword, you're going to see a bunch of stuff like SG, UHC, Vanilla, No Debuff, Iron Soup, Iron, Diamond, Gapple, Combo. Don't play Combo. I'm just going to say right now, most of these are all good. If you want to work on your bow, play Archer. If you want to work on your speed PvP, play Axe. If for some reason the server you like to play on has horse PvP, I don't know, try horse. SG, if you play survival games, this is perfect for you. And then for like Skywars players, pretty much the closest is build UHC. That's always really fun. And then those of you who just want to get better for whatever game mode you enjoy playing on this server, if you already knew about this server, then just play that game mode. So, these are going to be your main weapons, and I've got a couple of farm animals over here. I guess we'll test some of them on the farm animals. But these are going to be your main weapons on pretty much any server you're doing. You're going to have a sword and a bow are guaranteed. Occasionally they will not have fishing rods, but fishing rods are pretty universal. So it comes in at definitely as a main weapon category. So we're going to start with the sword. So the sword, let me go ahead and grab it out of my inventory real quick. Okay, the sword, at least this one's diamond, it does 7 attack damage, and then obviously they do different attack damages. Iron sword does 6, wooden sword does 4, stone sword does 5, diamond sword does 7, and golden sword does 4. If you are playing like survival games or something like that, you're really going to want to know what swords do what damage so that you don't have to actually look at it and see every single time. So I'm gonna teach you guys a little bit of the sword basics, how they work. Now, if you have followed my instructions and are currently playing in 1.8, you will be able to, when you left click, it'll swing, and when you right click, it will do this little animation right here, and that is blocking. Now, what happens when you block is it basically halves all damage that you're going to take except for fire damage and poison damage and basically all potion damage and fire damage. But is the only things that blocking cannot help. Because logically, think about it. If you're poisoned, blocking your sword won't help. If you're on fire, blocking your sword won't help. So the idea behind a sword, just the main basics, are blocking, halves damage, and when you jump in the air and then you hit something, see that one hit KO'd that pig. But let's say, if I'm not mistaken, pigs and cows have the same health. Oh, here's another pig. We'll use this guy. Now, if I just hit him without jumping, he doesn't die in one hit. I hit him twice. Now, the reason the pig died the first time is because I did what's called a critical hit. And critical hits are dealt when you are falling through the air and you hit something with a sword. So I can jump and hit that pig like that, but as you can see, I did not critical hit him. But if I jump in the air and as I'm falling I hit an entity, bam, one hit KO. So that's how critical hits work. And the only other real sword mechanic is block hitting, and I'll cover that in the next section. Hello guys, once again, and this is going to be my demonstration on blocking and how it helps. So, as we can see, the first time I'm going to block, the second time I'm not. So this is what's going to happen, okay? The zombies are going to come, actually I'll do it the other way around. I'm going to let him hit me once, and then I'm going to block and let him hit me, and let you guys see the difference between blocking and not blocking. So, let's hop into, well, there's creative mode. He did 2 hearts per hit-ish, and now he's on fire again. So let's see if we can lure him back into this little building. Run through this down. Alright, well, when we're blocking, as you can see, he only did 1 heart, which is half damage. And apparently he set me on fire. Alright guys, I am going to be here giving you a block hitting demonstration real quick. Now I want to tell you guys, block hitting, it's when you start by hitting your left click button, and then you go over to your right click, okay? So basically I'm going to jump at this guy and go for a critical hit, maybe go for a fishing rod first, and then I'm just going to spam both it's literally you just hold left and right, you just press left and then press right, and you just do this as fast as you can. And as you can see, we are kind of beating this guy. I don't think we're doing too amazing, but we are taking half damage. He should have done a lot more damage than he did. And as you can see, I'm just block hitting. Block hitting is great for straight lines. I've literally block hitted this whole fight, alright? And I'm still winning this. So see, this is actually a really good example of a good block hit. And you're also getting to see some of my rod mechanics here too. But yeah, I'm just, as you can see how I'm blocking on my screen too. On my screen is blocking and everything. Yeah, that block animation should be mainly what you're seeing, and it should just basically flicker on and off. That's what it should look like. Just that block animation flickering. And if that's what you're seeing, then you are doing this correctly. So, as you guys can see, we are back in our little world. This is kind of like our, the fishing. I'm just going to go ahead and go. I'm going to get back on topic. This is the fishing rod. Now, the fishing rod is amazing. I'm sure whether you guys are good at PvP or not, you have heard of the fishing rod and what it does. Now, the fishing rod, other than obviously being used to fish, can be used to initiate knockback against enemies. Now, fishing rod mechanics have changed in 1.9, but remember, I told you guys to be playing on 1.8. So as you can see, whenever I hit this sheep with a fishing rod, it will get knocked back. Now, if I want, I can hit the sheep with a fishing rod and then pull again, and then it'll get yanked back to me. But that doesn't work for players. We're talking about players here. So, when you hit an entity with the fishing rod, it will get knocked back, like so. Usually around 1 or 2 blocks. But the key is, alright, come here, sheep. The key is, now, I want you guys to watch. When I hit this sheep with a fishing rod, alright, I gotta get closer. When I hit it with a fishing rod, it gets launched into the air slightly. And that is crucial for unleashing massive combos onto people. And combos are when you are getting tons and tons of free hits without getting hit back. This is really quite a overpowered thing. So if you're not good with it and you're throwing it and you're just like, like that, you know, you need to learn how to throw a fishing rod. Now, my only tips are, depending on how far away it is, just aim slightly above the entity, whether it's a player or whatever it is. As you can see, if you just aim slightly above it, you can almost always hit it. And then basically the farther away it is, just move it slightly up. If you have to go more than about like that, then it's too far away for the fishing rod to get to you. This is about as far as the fishing rod will go. I think that might, nope, see. And I don't recommend going for rods this high. Basically, your cursor should never go any higher than that for a fishing rod. So, on to our final main weapon, the bow. Now, the bow is an amazing weapon, alright? It does really, really insane attack damage. Now, the idea behind the bow is, as you can see with my texture pack, I have a green, I have a yellow, I believe, yep, and a red. Now, this is how this works. The green is the lowest possible damage you can do to an entity. And I'd hit that pig before, so let's go ahead and shoot the cow. So, as you can see there, it did not do much damage to the cow. The yellow is the second highest damage you can do to an entity. And the red is the highest possible damage you can do to an entity. Now, the idea is green is like half a heart. Yellow is, if I'm not mistaken, 1 or 2 hearts. But red is basically equivalent to a critical hit. So it's kind of random, but you get the idea. Now, aims, the bow is basically anytime anybody's running at you, so let's say there's a player running at you, you can just spam them full of arrows. And don't be afraid to shoot when you're only on green or yellow. It doesn't matter. As long as you're dealing knockback and keeping them away from you and doing a little bit of damage, nothing wrong with that. Most game modes will give you insane amounts of arrows, but if you were playing Mineplex, I would not recommend this because you probably won't have any arrows. So, tips for aiming the bow? Honestly, all I can say is practice. I'd say if you want to get really good at using a bow, maybe spawn a world and spawn a bunch of entities in, and just kind of make a little pillar, and then just sit up there and bow entities for a while. You'll eventually, see, even I'm missing this cow. You'll eventually get used to the kind of the feel of where you need to aim. And another thing that matters is your FOV. You see, I play on Quake Pro. If I turn this down to what yours probably is, for example, 70, as you can see, I have to aim a lot more above the entity to hit it now. That's a lot more than when I had to do in Quake Pro. Because in Quake Pro, I was like, you know, I just got to aim like 2 blocks maybe above that. In 70, I'm going to have to aim more like that. But yeah, it's all going to depend really on your FOV. Yeah, hope you guys can figure out what you need to do for your FOV. So I figured I would give you guys an example of what I meant with how you kind of stand there when someone's coming at you and just bow them. So as you can see, this person is running at me, and now they want to get into a bow fight. Now if I can get them to run at me real quick, I can probably, see now how they're running at me? What you can do is you just get back here and you bow them. And I'll see if I can knock them back a little bit so I can do this again for you guys. Alright, see now he's going to run at me, and I can just bow him. Now if you want, you can just do this over and over again, but this guy's decent at strafing, so kind of a hard way to give an example for you guys. But as you can see, he just grappled, now he's going to be away, and I can just bow him. And now I'm kind of in a corner. I'm going to fight my way out real quick. I'll see you guys in the next clip. What is up? The only other two secondaries are considered like the fishing rod. Basically, your sword is your only main. But other secondaries I wanted to go over are the water bucket and the lava bucket. Now, obviously, most people can immediately see lava bucket and they can think, oh, well that's obvious. You place it and then you roast things. And now the idea is basically just to place it and then whatever entity will, if the entity will get roasted, please, maybe. There, as you can see, I've roasted the pig. The idea behind the water bucket is maybe if someone is chasing you, you can just jump into the air, and when you're at the peak of your jump, you can place the water bucket underneath you, and it will, basically, if the other person lands in it, now they're going to have a heck of a time trying to get themselves out of it. And that's basically it. You use the lava bucket just kind of whenever you want to roast someone, and you use the water bucket whenever you're running. The water bucket can be used similarly to cobwebs. For example, let's say cobwebs. I'll grab these cobwebs real quick. Now, the cobwebs are used more or less interchangeably with the lava bucket. You can use a cobweb for slightly more things. It's kind of like a combination of the water bucket and the lava bucket. Between how slow you move in a lava bucket, you move very slowly, slower than when you're sneaking, about that fast. But it also takes away fall damage, because if I'm not mistaken, let me come up here and then slash game. I've done this in Skywars, I don't know if it works in survival. As you can see, you place that cobweb, 0 fall damage. Awesome. But yeah, you can use cobwebs like that. You can, basically, the only other secondary that I can really think of is flint and steel. Flint and steel, you use it basically the same as a lava bucket. You just fire it, and someone lands in the fire, and then they take damage. And then obviously, if you're playing build UHC, you have to place the water bucket to put yourself out if you're on fire. But yeah, that's basically all I have for secondaries. My only tips, these tips only really work for cobwebs, lava bucket, and flint and steel. It's kind of not applicable for water. When someone's jumping at you to go in for a crit, that's usually the perfect time to smash down your lava bucket. So let's say someone's coming from over here off this block. I'm going to say, you know what, you're going to land approximately right here. Place the lava bucket right there, back up a little, fishing rod, then come right in, and you can just do some really insane fire, AoE, and sword damage really, really fast. The same thing really applies for flint and steel, although flint and steel is better for when you're being chased, as is cobwebs, but it all slows your enemy down pretty bad. So that's basically all I have on buckets, cobwebs, and flint and steel. So here in this round, I'm going to be trying to get you guys an example of the lava bucket. This is basically the way you'll use everything except for the water bucket. So I'll see if I can get this guy to light me on fire too. That might be helpful. Let's go and see if we can keep him away during his regen. And this guy, I can already tell, is very good. So I'm going to have some problems trying to pull a bucket on him here. But as you can see how I was going, you see, that's the thing about Kohi for me. It's a little, well, there's a perfect example to show the water bucket. As you can see, I was definitely hurting as far as my fire damage. So I'm going to run back over here and see if I can grab another lava bucket stain here real quick on this guy. I'm going to go for a rod here. Knock him back a little. What are you doing, man? Okay, that messed up. No! Well, that's only a great recording. It showed pretty well what you need to do with your water buckets, and I do believe that I was showing kind of well how to do the lava bucket. Obviously that guy was a little good, but you can see the gist of where I was going. I was trying to place the lava bucket where he was going to land when he was jumping at me. That's basically the secret to lava bucketing well, which obviously I'm not very good at lava bucketing. So obviously you guys all know all the basics now. So yeah, I guess we're going to get into some of the more advanced stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and apply for a match here, and I'm going to get into some of this stuff. So the first thing I want to explain is strafing. Now, strafing is when you use the keyboard. It should be WASD. It's when you use the keyboard to kind of move. So like right now I'm only holding down W, but I'm also pressing, I believe it is A? Yeah, it's A. Alright, so basically that's what that is. I'm pressing down the A key, and that's how I'm moving left, but moving forward at the same time. And this is one of the best strafes to combine with a rod. Now, what I do is I have a modified straight line. That's kind of what I do to strafe. I'm not big into circle strafing. Circle strafing is when you literally are walking around your opponent. Now, that is extremely difficult to do, and I have pulled off a few wicked circle strafes before, but as you can see right now, I'm just basically holding down one key and fishing rod, and that's basically the same thing this guy's doing. So that's kind of the way I strafe. I've gotten really good with the fishing rod, and I have hotkeys set up for it. So that's kind of why this strafe works for me. But I will see if I can get a circle strafe for you guys, and that's basically when you just go right around it like this. Now the idea, the best kind of circle strafe is one where you get free if you're playing like, oh, see this guy's, oh my gosh, this guy's a little bit good here.
see if I can get around him. But circle strafe, you basically have to get up behind your opponent. It's not going to work on anybody who is good at PvP. I'm just going to say that right now. It's not going to work against anybody who is good because they will keep their cursor on you. And that's basically my next tip. Focus only on where your cursor is located. And if you can help it, never let it leave your opponent's body. See, he's low. And I still got wrecked. But the point is, you got to keep your cursor on the guy's body, alright? If you aren't keeping it on his body, then you're going to have problems. Now, if you want, I believe you can press F3 and B, and that will show player hitboxes and the way they are facing. So yeah, that's kind of helpful. Some people might find it easier to aim for the box instead of the player. And if you do, great. Then F3 and B to toggle that on and off. But that's about all I got as far as strategy. Minecraft is basically a glorified cookie clicker, I'll be totally honest. So yeah, as long as you can combine all the basics, you get good at the lava bucket, good at rotting, you know, bow, sword, I don't know, W tapping. You can get into stuff like W tapping, which I can't pull off. I'm just not good enough. I don't understand what's going. The only other real tip I got for you guys is jitter click if you can, and you're willing to risk arthritis. I'm not sure if it really causes it or not. Everybody seems to think it does and says it does, but I'm not really sure, you know. But yeah, I guess I'll hop into the tips and tricks for you guys. So the place where you guys are going to improve your PvP the most is not in skill. It's not going to involve what kind of computer you have, how big your screen is, how good your aim is. The stuff that's going to help you the most in PvP is actually located right here in your options setting. This is something I see so many people not doing, okay? And it really makes me sad. As you can see, I have my settings here set up for basically some pretty high speed. I have a decent computer, so I don't have to worry about like you know, like I can turn this all the way up to 32 and still get a steady like 300 FPS. But basically the two main things you're going to want are going to be in your controls and this right here. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into your options and you are going to see this, and when you guys first see it, it'll look like this most likely. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to take this slider bar and you're going to want to move it up from anywhere between 90 and Quake Pro. Now what that is going to do is, let me show you real quick in a world. What that is going to do is it's going to change your field of vision, which means you know how when you first come in, Minecraft is a little tunnel visiony, as you can see, or sensitive. Can't create a mode, but as you can see, I'm not moving my mouse very much. And I am still I'm moving my mouse maybe a centimeter, and I'm going this far. That's 2 meters in game. That's pretty insane. That's a little too much. So, one way you can reduce this sensitivity problem is by either going to controls and then adjusting your sensitivity, or turning your FOV up. And the best FOV from my experience and from other people's is anywhere between 90 and Quake Pro. Now Quake Pro is not commonly used. I just use it because it fits well on my monitor, and it's basically the equivalent to 90 for most people, I think. So now I'm going to explain some other stuff in the settings. Alright, if you come here to options, you're going to have Quake Pro. Hopefully you have your FOV between 90 and Quake Pro. Now trust me, it will help. It'll feel weird at first, but once you get used to it, you are going to love it. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go over to controls. And in controls, you're going to see this sensitivity thing here. Now it depends on different mice, and it depends on your Windows mouse sensitivity. Now if I come over here into my Windows, I am on Windows 10. Wait, I should probably go to control panel. I went to the wrong place. I'm very sorry. Let's go to control panel, and then if we go over here and type mouse into here, we're going to get change mouse settings. Now here you can change your, if I'm not mistaken, you can change your mouse is basically their speed back and forth here. And yeah, you can do it here, and you can do it inside of the Minecraft client. And something just crashed there. I don't know what was up. But you can do it inside of your Minecraft client too with sensitivity 90% is what I have, because that just works for me. You guys have to decide for yourselves. basically just toy with it until you see what works with whatever FOB you're using. Now, as you can see, I have a lot of hotkeys and controls here. It's honestly, it's kind of crazy. So I'm going to kind of go through most of these and explain them. Now, your hotkeys are going to be one of your most important things. These are just default mouse settings, except for the Q. I will explain that in a minute. This is going to be Q for you, most of you, but I'll explain in a second. Now, what I've done is your hotkeys are your hotbar slots. So this would be your first hotbar slot. This would be your second, your third, your fourth, your fifth, your sixth, your seventh, your eighth, your ninth, and then your inventory is E. Now, what I've done is I've set up hotkeys for my first slot, and I've set that up for Q on my keyboard and F on my keyboard. So what I do is I put my sword in my first slot and my fishing rod in my second slot. And what this allows me to do is switch between my sword and my fishing rod extremely fast. Now, if you guys have like really expensive Razer Nagas or Corsairs or something and they have all the mouse buttons on the sides, I would recommend you set 1 through, just take the side mouse buttons and go 1 through 9 on your mouse buttons. That's pretty much perfect. You can't get any better than that. But I don't have an expensive mouse. I just have a kind of a really well-built, like I got it for like 25 bucks at Walmart, and I love it, but it's not like high-end quality sort of thing. But it's amazing. I love my mouse. But it does force me to set up keyboard hotkeys on my keyboard. So basically, these are going to be your hotbar slots, and you're going to want to set them to something that you can switch between your sword and your fishing rod very, very easily. And if you're going to get really picky, your bow and maybe into pearls or whatever. But swallow. But yeah, that's basically whatever you set these to, you're going to want to get really fast on them. Make sure you can hotkey from your first slot all the way until at least your fifth. That's what you're going to need. So what I've done here is my hotkeys, what I wanted to set them to, interfered with some other stuff, such as my drop key. Like I wanted my sword to be on Q. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to set my drop key to R, and it works. I just got used to this setup, so whenever I want to drop an item, I use R. So I'm going to go ahead and come down here, and this is going to be more or less what helps you the most. Actually, no, never mind. I'll get to that in a minute. I'll let you guys sit and think about it. So, unless you guys have Optifine installed, you will not see this, so don't worry about this. I'm only explaining stuff in default Minecraft. So, toggle perspective. You will originally see this, and it will be F5, will be the original hotkey. For my setup, it's very easy for me to reach over to the V key, so that's what I set it to. I set it to V, and as you can see, when I press the V button, it takes me into third person, and then when I press it again, it takes me like this. And this is useful because now you can see behind you. So if you're getting chased by someone, or you want to check behind you but you don't want to turn all the way around, this is perfect. Because I see people all the time, they'll be running and then they'll stop and turn around to look and see if I'm still there, and then they'll just turn around and keep running. You've just lost 7 blocks at least. I don't care how fast you are. You know, like that. I mean, you can even go for a jump and do it. You're still going to lose a little bit of time. So putting your toggles perspective in a easy place for you to reach is crucial to you being able to figure out how on earth you're going to be PvPing. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is pretty much the most important thing you will ever do here, okay? You're going to want to set a sprint key. Now, as you can see, I have my sneak key or my crouch key or whatever you call it set to C. That's because I made my sprint key left shift. And left shift is basically where I keep my pinky, and I just hold this key down all the time. It means I'm always sprinting. I do not have to double tap W, alright? Double tapping W sucks. I'm just going to say that right now. You don't want to double tap W. See, I'm trying to do a W tap right now. You see this? It's not working. Now, if I hold down shift, now look, I'm going. Now, I want to show you guys something. I'm going to double tap W right. I'll tell you right when I hit it the second time. Now, okay? Now, if I just hold down the shift key, I can just run. I'm stop, run, stop, run, stop, run, stop, run, stop, run. It's flawless. Now, when you get hit or you hit something else and you're just W tapping, you're gonna like, here, look, this pig right here. Whenever you hit it, you stop sprinting. That's gonna get you comboed so hard, okay? You need to make sure you have a sprint key, because if you have a sprint key, oh yeah, I don't stop when I'm hitting this pig. The reason I can reach so far is because I'm in creative mode. But as you can see, I was commenting that pig from like, what, 9 blocks? That's not gonna happen with a player, but you get the gist of it. It never stopped. I could only hit that pig once when I was playing with only the W. So I think the last thing I'm gonna explain here is, yeah, you'd have to set a sprint key. I don't care who you are, you have to have a sprint key. If you don't have one, set one, okay? Yeah, this is pretty much just my setup. Since I have left shift, which is by default sneak, I just set sneak to C, which means I kind of have to take my pointer finger off the D key and set it over to my sneak whenever I want to like build bridges or whatever. But if you're playing 1v1s, that's not important. However, for Sky Wars, if it's just too much for you to reach on your keyboard, then you can figure out something else to set it to. But that's basically all I got for you guys, you know. I'm just going to scroll through my settings once more really quick so you guys can kind of see them. I have drop items set to R, hotbar slot 1 is Q, hotbar 2 slot is F. If you have those like side buttons on your mouse, they come pretty standard nowadays. You can choose a slot for those. As you can see, it's like you can just click here and you can just press the button and then it'll set it to that. I have cinematic camera, doesn't matter. I have toggle perspective where I can reach it instead of trying to go all the way up to F5 on your keyboard. It's way too far away. Put it somewhere you can reach. C to sneak, and shift to hold down sprint so that you never stop sprinting. Of everything I've taught you guys today, the thing that's going to help you the most is, if you're going to take anything away from this super long video, this is what you need to hear, alright? These two things. Quake Pro or 90 FOV, between 90 and Quake Pro, a good sensitivity, and there's one other, I'm sorry, and that sprint key. That's going to be what improves your PvP. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. If you want me to make more videos kind of like this one, just let me know in the comment section or something, I don't know. But yeah, obviously that's all I really got to say for you guys. I understand that this was kind of unprofessionally done. I might redo it sometime, but yeah, that's all I got for you guys. So I think I'll see all you guys later. Good luck with your PvP. Yeah, I hope I've helped somehow. See all you people later. Bye.